I have a post called Saving the Best. And this is, I will end with this. Actually, Sam, can you grab Saving the Best for me? It's probably Saving the Best is in, it's an essay I wrote. I think it was probably about 10 years ago as well. And you guys want to get some juices flowing and you guys want some angst and some like real adrenaline running, you read this article. Saving the Best is basically a guy, and now this is old school, but the Saving the Best article is about a guy whose wife was kind of a cold fish. She was kind of frigid in bed. And then the guy, through whatever happenstance, comes across an old videotape of her or something where she made amateur porn when she was in, oh, you got it, thank you, making amateur porn in their college years. And I mean, like 3 ways, like 4 ways, like her with like 2 and 3 guys, right? And doing shit that he had tried to do with his wife in bed, but she was very reluctant to do it. And if she would do it at all, she wouldn't even consider it, you know, like we'll barely give you a kind of thing. But she's, in fact, the quote in that article in Saving the Best, sort of the money shot, not to put too sharp a point on it, was he said to her, he says, I married a prude who fucks like a whore, or married a whore who fucks like a prude. And does he have, okay, Saving the Best. There it is. Thank you for that. I know sometimes it's a little hard to find these. Okay. I'm just going to read you the situation here because this is really, really interesting. Oh, this is we pulled this off the Red Pill Reddit. Oh God, this is 11 years ago. Okay, so I'm just going to read you the situation. The guy says this. I posted this earlier on another subreddit, but it ended up getting removed because of fighting in the comments. I'll sum it up what happened thus far. I met my wife 7 years ago. She was extremely picky when it came to sex. She told me she has only been with one other guy before. She would never give a blowjob, only do certain positions, and found almost every sex act as degrading. I was frustrated by this, but I really liked her, and I hoped over the years she would open up sexually. Over the years, it never got any better, but I learned to get over it. I ended up finding an old video of her from her college days of her engaging in group sex with 6 people, 5 guys and 1 girl. In the video, she has sex, gets double and yells multiple times in the video, I am a filthy whore. All of it she was enthusiastic about. I ended up feeling really sad. I can understand certain stuff people don't want to do, but it wasn't the fact that she didn't want to do them. She didn't want to do them with me, but with every other guy, she was their whore. His husband, so he's the husband, but he's their whore. I was angry, hurt, and I ended up saying some stupid shit to my wife. I asked her if she could drop our daughter off at her sister's because I wanted to talk to her. She asked why, and I told her we'd discuss it after she came back. I don't remember all the details of the conversation, so I'll sum it up to my best of my memory. I was drinking a bit before she came over, which wasn't the best idea. Okay, this is what he said. Me. Is there anything about your past that you've been hiding? Her. Why are we talking about this? Me. I just want to know where you were in any type of porn or anything like that. Her. Are you taking drugs? Me. I found your video from college with the other guys. I don't know who you are anymore, and I feel ill around you. She starts crying. Me. Do you have anything to say? She continues to cry. This was pointless. I grab my keys to leave, and she tries to stop me. Me, if you don't want me to leave, then I need you to be 100% honest with me and tell me why you lied to me for all these years. Her, I didn't want you to think I was a slut. Me, I would have been perfectly fine if you told me. I would have loved to have done those wild things with you. Look, I get it. I don't turn you on like those other guys do. You like suck, but not mine. Her, it's not that. I didn't want you to think less of me. Me, no, it's exactly that. There's a thing lying about sleeping with other guys. It's not that you didn't like doing those things. You didn't like doing them with me. Her, I can do that stuff with you. I'm attracted to you. You know that. Me, I don't want you to do it because you feel like you have to. I want someone that actually desires me. Her, I can change. I promise I don't ruin our marriage over this. We can work things out. We can go to marriage counseling. Seriously, talk to me. Me, marriage counseling won't change how you feel about me. Look, I will try marriage counseling, but I want a trial separation for now. Her, please don't do this. Don't throw away our marriage for what I did in college. Me, stop fucking acting like it's one-time thing. Be honest with me. How many guys did you fuck before me? How many guys how many guys have you fucked have you let fuck? She, why does it matter? I said I'll do them with you. Me, I am so fucking lucky. I got married to a whore that fucks like a prude. Her, please don't waste all of our marriage on this. I'm willing to change. Me, I'm not divorcing you, but I want a trial separation, and now I see how things go right, or see how things go. Right now, I feel sick of looking at you. I ended up leaving. My wife kept trying to stop me. She kept on begging, saying she would do anything I wanted with her. It was truly pathetic, and I lost all respect for my wife, the way she was trying to manipulate me with sex. I'm staying in a motel right now. I have been getting constant calls from my wife. She has been asking me where I am. If I tell her, then she is going to confront me, and I don't feel like I am ready for that right now. I feel fucking drained. I feel bad for all those things I said to my wife, but I don't know what else to do. I am so fucking hurt over this. All right, so I'll just keep going with this. He goes into some other details here, but the point of this is, in fact, I'll just read what I wrote about it here at the end here. The author of this Reddit thread is feeling the sharp end of the hypergamic equation. While I'm sure there will be every effort made to paint this man's wife as some fucked up emotionally damaged and conveniently sexually abused victim, we don't know this, but that's the default association in comments of the original thread. The operative I'm driving at here isn't about her individualized experiences, but the methodology she and all women use to justify their sexual pluralism, which is exactly what's going on right now in the Twitter threads with this poor girl who is feeling jilted because she was honest with the boyfriend who she clearly wanted to marry. Prior to the advent of technologies that could evidentially prove women's sexual exploits, like OnlyFans, like Instagram, like amateur porn. Remember, this was a VHS tape that she had.
Oh my! So this is
this is like prior. This is
90s.
pre OnlyFans. This is pre, and it's not 90s, but it's like I mean, maybe the porn was shot in the 90s, but it was a tape. He even said, he mentions it by name. It was a tape, right? And remember, he'd been married to her for 7 years, and I would presume that she was in college before they got married, right? So yeah, it might be right. It might be the late 90s.
Because I mean, DVDs started kicking in early 2000s. So
right. So it was a tape, but it was a tape she was hanging on to for a reason. Yeah. There's a reason the guy found it or came across it. So there's a reason why women are like, why did she kept it? Why would she not destroy it?
Yeah, exactly. She kept it for a reason.
Why would it not be destroyed, right? Okay, so prior to the advent of technologies that could evidentially prove women's sexual exploits, often proudly so now, the more visceral aspect of a woman's sexuality and the inconvenient hindbrain hormonal prompts that motivate them could be kept secret well enough to deceive a man with provisioning potential to commit to a long-term security, the other half of her hypergamy demands. Remember, beta bucks, provisioning, protection, and parental investment. Okay? As the technology to record this becomes more ubiquitous, more permanent and fluid in its use, as men become more interconnected by it, and as women enjoy more self-affirmations from it, rationalizing her past indiscretions becomes more of an imperative. This is why women don't like to reveal their body count. This is why women don't like to discuss their sexual pasts, because they understand, like when Myron and Fresh, or when I hear like Brian Atlas from whatever podcast talk about like, body count shouldn't matter, right? Okay, so then what's your body count? And then what happens is women just like clam up. Like they're like, well, what do you, that's an inappropriate question.
That shouldn't matter.
Why? You just said it shouldn't matter. It does matter. And you know why it matters? Because of exactly this story. Because they don't want their digital footprint. They don't want to have to admit it. They want you to have to go and figure it out and find out. It shouldn't matter. Should it? Well, the reason why we push for this idea that body count shouldn't matter for women is because well, first of all, they know that it does matter, but they know that it's inescapable. So if somebody wanted to find out, and like if you're on Instagram or you're on like OnlyFans or whatever, you're going to find out. There's going to be some digital evidence of this. So if it's inescapable, the only other way of sort of circumventing that is by making it inappropriate, is by saying it's unimportant. It shouldn't matter what a woman's body count is. So if we can convince the broader portion of the population that it shouldn't matter, then guess what? We don't have to worry about it anymore. We don't even have to have the conversation anymore because it doesn't matter. We got to convince enough people that it doesn't matter, that whatever their body count is, or the fact that this chick is in like basically doing an orgy, and remember, this is in the 90s too. So men saturated and conditioned over the better part of half of a lifetime by the feminine imperative to be convenient cuckolds to women's hypergamy, men, like the author of this confession, have an ego-invested interest in presuming the woman they pair with will be giving him the best of herself, quote unquote, by the way, once his ship comes in and all of this, his patience and equalist beliefs finally pay off. That's how I got the title of this, by the way. Only men like this discover too late, usually well after they realize their commitment has hamstrung their own sexual market value and peak potential, that not only have they been retroactively cuckolded, sometimes even moralistically proud to be so, but they've been socially conditioned to be won by their mothers, their emasculated fathers, their sisters, their female friends, their teachers, the whole of the feminine imperative, and their efforts for most of their entire lives. One of the reasons, and I am most and most of the manosphere receive so much scorn from plugged-in feminine primary society is that we risk to expose this process. The author's story is an inconvenient truth for the pluralistic feminine sexual strategy. Women's capacity to cash out of the sexual marketplace, to raise children, to create a semblance of a family life, so conflicted with her single life on what she thinks should be her terms, all rides on keeping men with a long-term provisioning potential ignorant of their pre-cuckolding and their conditions that took so long to convince them that they would be their responsibility. All right, I'll stop there before I keep blinding you with bigger words. So the idea is this, is when you have a guy who doesn't fuck, when you have a guy who's in the blue side of the dual mating strategy, that guy firmly on the reason why she thinks this is a compliment is because she needs him to believe he's doing the right fucking thing. Oh, you're not like other guys, not like the other guys who I spread my legs for nothing, for friends with benefits, hookup culture, hooking up with those guys who didn't have to jump through the hoops that you had to jump through, who never had to jump through the hoops you will have to jump through if you want to have kids with me and you want to have a family and a life with me and fulfill my genetic lifetime plan. You're the lucky one. You get to do that. You're special. You should take this as a compliment. Fuck you. And you know why it's fuck you? Because you should be saving the best for your husband. So all these women who want to say, oh yeah, I don't believe in premarital sex, or I don't like what you're saying is I'm saving myself for my husband. I'm saving my sex for my husband. I'm saving sex, double monkey backflips. I'm saving all of these acrobatics for the guy because I don't want to have it with just some random dude. I want to have it with you, but that's not what's happening. Because men who are playing by the rules, who you think should be complimented by this, those dudes, they don't think it's a compliment anymore. First of all, because of asshats like me making them aware of it. But the other part of this is they're getting a raw deal. They're getting you gave yourself, ladies, you gave yourself freely to the guy who is the hookup, the guy who is the friends with benefits. You don't have to worry about whether or not the guy can shop at Bed Bath & Beyond. You don't have to worry about his 401k. You don't worry about trust fund, blue eyes, finance, all that other shit, right? He's getting laid no matter what. That dude doesn't have to jump through the hoops that this guy's going to have to jump through. But you think that should be a compliment to him, that that he gets some sort of watered down sexuality that the other guy who was who was a fuck boy, the guy who did fuck, didn't have to do to get to where he is. It's not a compliment. It's a fucking extortion is what it is. Because that guy, if he's not aware, if he's not, educated and he's not red pill aware, that guy thinks he's getting your sexual best. That's the whole thing. That's why I titled the essay Saving the Best. I might have fucked some other guys, but the guy that I want to marry, he's got to be the best fucking sexual experience I've ever had in my life. And you know what? That guy's probably thinking the same thing. I want to get with a woman who I am sexually compatible with and that I want to have the best fucking sex of my life with all the time, as much as I possibly can. Why would that not be your husband? And it goes back, and I'll finish with this. It goes back to the conversations I would have, or I would listen over here, eavesdrop on with my poor girls back in the day in my liquor days, right? When they would say, "Would you ever fuck a guy on the first date?" And they go, "Of course I have," blah, blah, blah. But not if he was boyfriend material. And guys hear that and they go, "What the fuck are you talking about? Why would you give it up to the fuck boy, like as if it's nothing? But the guy who's boyfriend material, why wouldn't he be the one that you would want to instantly fuck and not have to make him jump through hoops because you have some magical ability to vet him? I don't know how, but you have some magical ability to figure out whether this guy is boyfriend material, future husband material. Why would you not be jumping the minute you saw him and made that determination? Because he's boring. Perfect is boring. This guy right here, the blue side, the men who would make a good husband, boring. Not as fun as Tinder swindler, not as fun as fuckboy, not as fun as friends with benefits, not as exciting, not as thrill ride, not a fucking roller coaster like the guy who is the hot guy in the foam cannon party. Not that one. And it's so and women laugh because it's cognitive dissonance. Like, I don't know. No, you know exactly, but you also understand that the incongruency of that. They understand the cognitive dissonance in that. And the only way they can deal with it is by a giggle. That's all it is. And so when you have guys who think that because they play by the rules, because they're good dad material, because they're good providers, good protectors, parentally invested, want to have kids, meet all the other criteria, except for the fact that they're boring and they're maybe not as hot as those other guys, they think that you're going to give them their sexual best. They think you're going to get sex. They think you're going to give them every night. They think this. Because why else would you marry them? Why else would you want to spend the rest of your life with a guy who you don't want to fuck? Why would you do that? Why would, and you know what? More and more women, you want to know why the marriage rate's so low? Because the women are answering that for themselves right now. Like, I want to fucking just do it myself. I'll take care of myself. I'll provide for my own long-term security. And guess what? So if I can provide provisioning, protection, and parental investment for myself, what's left? The alpha fucks bad boy, the guy that they want to share. They would rather share a successful alpha than be saddled with a dutiful beta. Where did that come from? That's actually Pook. From back in back in 2005, 2006. That's been part of the red pill forever. Rollo, why are you so wrapped up in this dual mating strategy? Because it's been around, it's been fucking self-evident for at least the last 22, 23 years. And guess, you know how self-evident it is? It's so self-evident that this motherfucker bails out of the house and says, I got to go clear my head. That's how self-evident it is. This guy didn't go, seems to me like she's plotting ahead to do mate switching hypothesis on me or strategy or whatever. No. This only happens if dual mating is a fucking thing. Sorry, one more fucking nail in that coffin. So when I'm talking about saving the best, those guys, like ladies, the reason why this isn't a compliment is because that dude thinks he's going to get the same kind of fucking action that the guy who didn't have to do anything for it is going to get, because there's only one reason he would ever want to marry you, is because you're the best sexual experience he's ever had and he is the best sexual experience you've ever had. That's how guys think. The end.